Part 2 ending of the Monday Reds. Part 1 down below. Update from last night. Met GF for coffee, turned into a 2-hour drive along the coast. Things are progressing exactly how they should, we have a great time together. NC still in effect and I honestly don't see any reason for it to ever end. Waiting on the key to come in order to initiate Operation Wake Up Call. Random thought. Looking back, STBX always claimed that we had nothing in common. I would fight the issue saying that we could find a common ground and find things to do together that we would both enjoy, which actually meant me doing everything she wanted even though I hated it and her putting down what I liked to do. However, even though I was doing these things, the fact that I resented being forced to these things made it worse. She was right, we have no common interests. We will never meet on a common ground as she incapable of recognizing her faults, shortcomings in any aspect of life. You ask if I'd consider or I answer with why. Why put me back into a situation like that? The amount of maturing she needs to do is beyond measurable. Meanwhile, I have known GF for around a week. Yeah, I know. I have seen her twice, spoken to her a lot. Already have more in common, have had deeper conversations than I have ever had with STBX in the 5 years I knew her. There I say it, STBX has set me free. Update. The days are passing by. As they do, I can barely remember the so-called good times as they are being replaced by my current experiences. STBX's attempt to suck me back into the drama has gone by the wayside. I am just about to secure my own insurance policy. Seeing GF tonight, she was divorced a few years ago and has read many of the books recommended here. Girl's got her head on straight, we have a ton in common and we genuinely enjoy being around each other. There is obvious chemistry there, but she is fully aware of my situation and the pace this needs to proceed at and is fully supportive over it. Great night with GF. She doesn't pry at all about STBX. We had great dinner, conversation. Went to the movies after. Kissed goodnight. Perfect night. STBX followed through with her threat and dropped the car. I got the confirmation email, laughed and deleted it. She keeps revealing her true self. Why was I in this fog for so long? Update from today. Been a pretty normal day. Getting used to being alone. Honestly, I don't love it but I don't mind it either. Things with GF are going as good as I can imagine and the speed is perfect. Finalizing with lawyer today. That is winning. Had a great weekend. Been spending time with GF and discussing love languages, codependency and other topics. She gets it. STBX has been quiet, which can only mean one thing. Something is brewing. I'll be ready for it though, no matter what it is. The key is an issue for Operation Repo. Turns out I need the car there to program the key. This is becoming a hassle and I'm thinking to advise my lawyer to get it back. I haven't thought about STBX at all other than getting the issue sorted out with money, which I'm giving her nothing, and pushing this trough already. Days go by. I think of STBX every now and again. Not really sure what is triggering me. I keep having thoughts of reaching out to her but will not allow myself to break NC just out of pure pride at this point. GF has been everything I could ask for. She's an amazing woman and I really like the way we are progressing. I see continues, giving him a few more sessions to turn it around. If he doesn't, I need to find a new one. Not a word from my lawyer in over 2 weeks, not sure what to make of that. I believe that if I'm paying someone to do a job, let them do it. I'll keep steady the path. Overcome the speed bumps as they come. Just got a call from my lawyer. STBX filed a motion against him and he can no longer represent me as he did our taxes last year and is now considered a conflict of interest. He's going to recommend to me a new lawyer. She's got some good timing. An update. STBX broke NC, asked to meet up with me and I did. STBX completely broke down, admitted to her faults and wants to work it out. Has agreed to all of my requests. She's in scramble mode. It was surreal when I saw her, didn't quite know what to expect but went in very strong. Within minutes she broke. I have agreed to see her and start dating each other. I am cautiously entering into this as I have the feeling some of these factors are in play. 1. Grass wasn't greener. 2. The comfort blanket is gone financially. 3. She missed and loves me. I need to figure out what the percentages are of these 3 items. We discussed briefly the divorce. She has contacted her lawyer and stopped it, or so she says. I haven't done anything on my end. Didn't stop the divorce, she did. She needs to prove to me that she has changed and it starts with actions from this point forward. I always wanted an R with her. But this time it's on my terms and I'm writing the script for this. And about GF, at this time she doesn't stand a chance and honestly keeping her around is completely unfair to her and selfish of me. I can tell you guys this. My guard is up and something doesn't add up for me either. Eyes are wide open though. Update. Met with STBX last night for coffee. Wound up talking for hours about the mistakes we made and changes that are being promised and ways to make sure this never happens again. She keeps telling me she needs me to be happy. Red flag. I am setting up a boundary here with her and saying she needs to find happiness in herself and not count on me for it. We'll be passing along codependent no more to her soon. One thing I have learned, I never spoke her love language, which I take full responsibility for and am now applying fully. I also take responsibility for my codependency and still working on that. I will not take any responsibility for her straying to an EA, which is what has been admitted. That was her choice, no matter how bad I may have acted. Made this quite clear and will continue to do so. I am rewriting my life script and she can either choose to be part of it or not. Sum it up, my life used to be all about her. Now, my life is about me, and if she wants to be part of it, put up or get the hell out. Update, guys, I'm not feeling this. I feel like she is gaining control over this way too quickly and I'm too eager to push this forward. I have been talking about the future and STBX is noticeably uncomfortable about it. I feel like this dangerously close to failing into the previous pattern, which will eventually end badly for me. I'm heading away for a business trip today and will be back on Friday. I think I should cut contact for the time being. I am losing control of my emotions and need to get it back before it's too late. We did speak while I was away. I decided early last week to not bring up the future anymore and just live in the moment. Seems almost immediately after I decided this, STBX has now started to talk about future plans as well as finances. Things are progressing down a good path at the moment. We are getting to know our new selves and so far, everything is clicking really well. I do discuss therapy with her and have discussed what makes me feel this way and what I'm doing to better myself. It's been a wild 2 weeks. I'm curious to see what the next 2 weeks brings. Things are progressing great. STBX has really been stepping up. Something clicked during the time away. I see weekly continues for both. MC to commence shortly, perhaps a month or two. I haven't offered to solve any problems over the past 2 weeks and she hadn't asked. I feel she may struggle with this, but that's not really my problem. Day by day, a year later. It looks like we are back to this. No infidelity this time, just the "I don't think this is going to work out" speech. We are too different. I don't know where to go from here. Did I get complacent? Yes. Help me get back on the path before it's too late. When we first got back, everything was great, both focusing on the marriage and each other. After around 6 months, we fell back into the routine. Then yesterday, out of nowhere, I got the "I don't think this is going to work out" talk and that she doesn't want to try anymore. She feels it's best to get out now when she is still young enough to find someone to remarry and have children. She didn't say that, but that's what I got out of it. I honestly didn't know what to say to that. Except I don't believe a marriage is something you just give up on and that I wanted to work on it. We did come home together last night, slept in the same bed, then had slept together this morning. She had left to attend a family obligation and I am at work. She did say afterwards she wanted to go and process everything by herself, then will come home after. I'm expecting when she comes home to hear that she is moving out. I don't know what else can possibly happen from that. So today has come and gone. She seems to be willing to give it a try, although no terms have been discussed on how this is going to work. No one is in the picture this time, so I don't think she found another actor, but the rest of the statement seems spot on. So, here's a twist. It seems someone is in the picture. It's her toxic friend, female, who has never liked me. When we are back last February, she stopped talking to STBX due to this decision. About a month ago they reconnected. STBX gives me a kiss goodbye this morning prior to going to work, saying she loves me. Text to me an hour later thanking me for being such an amazing person. I can't get sidetracked. Need to get back to working on me, making myself a better person. Half a year later. Just got back from a family trip where she stated I was the best thing to ever happen to her and that she didn't know what she would do without me. To a week later, a small argument leads to her moving out while I'm at work and taking our dog with her. I managed to get her to meet me and give me the dog, but the latest is she doesn't want this life anymore and our marriage can't be fixed and blah blah blah. I need your guys' support more than ever. Last time I wanted to work this out. I didn't want to lose her. This time I need the strength to stay away and push this through once and for all. I can't keep going through everything is great for months, then one day I hear she's been miserable for a year with no warning. Ladies and gents, I'm looking for advice again, guidance. Please help me here. First question is, we have a house. I don't want to be there. She is currently living at her mom's but plans on coming back. Do I get a place and allow her to come back? Staying there with her is out of the question. I also fear that she may try and take the dog again. I love the idea of comfort and stability. I understand she gives me neither, but, in my mind, I thought she did. I do agree she is beyond saving and was the first time as well. I do love her, but I cannot continue to be emotionally pummeled by these fleeing acts every 6 months. I don't know the cause of the breakdown. She did mention some stress about bills, however she doesn't pay any, so I am unsure why she was stressed. We have very minimal debt, but she doesn't seem to understand that even though I am 100% transparent with it. I feel like at this moment I'm done and looking out for my own well-being. I am just hoping and praying I can stay strong. I don't think it's repairable because I don't think she's ever capable of changing and getting help for these episodes. What I want is what everyone wants. A normal marriage that's filled with love and respect for each other. Not this up and down, peaks and valleys relationship I'm in that crushed my soul every 6 months. Do I love her? Yes. I do love myself more though and realize I can't keep doing this to myself. Also, no kids. Been married 5 years. The past 2 years have been for the most part status quo. The only argument we have had recently is over debt and money. We have very low debt but live just at our means, so we don't have much savings. We both spend without regard of savings. Although I do not know the reason for the blow-up this time, I can imagine it has something to do with money and her feelings that she is able to spend as she pleases but doesn't feel the same for me. Now keep in mind we both make very good livings and do not struggle to get anything we want. Our money is separate and we split up the bills roughly 80-20. I do make more, so it is a fair split. She has been in IC for the past 2 months and it has been to work through issues that she's been having at work and with her father. She has told me numerous times they don't even talk about me or the marriage. This is our first time she has been in IC since the first breakup. When we first got back together, I was in IC and working on myself while she did nothing. I kept at this for around 2 months, then we got complacent and fell into the grove. One of the posters is right, nothing was resolved from the previous break. At this moment I am a whirlwind of emotions. I want her back, but I don't want this pain. I know eventually, even if I can manage to get her back, I'll be in this spot again. I woke up this morning very weak and wanting to reach out, but I didn't. The 180 started the second she decided to leave, and I will try my hardest to keep at it, but I can tell already it will be difficult. I haven't spoken to a layer yet, although I did find some forms online to file and have completed them. I don't know what my next step is or when I will take it. She is thinking she is coming back to the house next week and I will be gone. I haven't decided how I am going to handle as yet. So crazy how emotions can change hour to hour. I woke up so sad, felt angry during the day now and feeling indifferent. In any event, it's been 3 days of NC and 180, just trying to keep it going. When we got back together, I had asked her to make some changes. The most important to me, and I stress this, was when things get rough again, that she promises me not to just run. We try and work through it and exercise all options prior to getting to that point. Unfortunately, she did the exact opposite, and that is not something I look at lightly. STBX has been crying every day. I haven't seen it, but that's what she's been telling me, because she's so sad and her life is so hard. Her family life is messed up, her work isn't good, but her marriage was good. This conversation was had about 2 weeks ago. Now, she's moved out back at her parents' house, so she says. So tomorrow I have a party with some ex-coworkers and friends I haven't seen in months. These are all my friends and not mutual. I wasn't going to go as of last week, but since my schedule has since cleared, I am thinking I may. Woke up today feeling a little better than yesterday. She's still the first thought on my mind, unfortunately, but the time will come when that's not the case. Not the party tonight, so that should be a good break. Tomorrow I'm going to a friend's to watch the games. Sunday is going to be interesting and a big test. I wish I had a little more time to have to deal with this, but we can't always have things happen on our timetables, so it is what it is. I woke up and it's hard to get the day started, but once I do, I start to feel instantly better. Hey, it's been a week and I survived. My next goal is to not only survive but to also strive. So, the day is almost over and no sign of STBX. Feeling relieved. Is it bad? Early December, STBX claims to have problems with the amount of debt we are in. Wants to contribute towards paying it down but can't afford to. Asks for a copy of all the bills. I send it. 2 days later buys a new coat, $1,000. 2 days after that mentions our mom wants to take us away for Xmas. She is willing to pay for the airfare and hotel, but we need to pay for everything else. I agree. We decide to go to Vegas. Days leading up are status quo. She starts her winter break, teacher, and I continue to work my normal shift. No change in phone privacy or bathroom trips. No bonding. We go to Vegas, have slept together once. She proclaims to me how she can't live without me and I'm the best thing to ever happen to her. We are back, another week of her being off, me working. Sunday, she moves out stating she can't live this life any longer. After blowing up about finding a charge on our credit card from me. Just got off the phone with the pastor who married us. He was very helpful last time. He basically suggested to divorce, which is crazy coming from a pastor. Mind you, he has known her since she was very young and her pastor. He said she will never get what she is looking for because it doesn't exist. This will be a constant game of me chasing her, getting her, then her running again when she feels she needs to be chased. The cycle needs to be broken. Unless she is willing to seriously work on herself, this will never work. Unfortunately, she doesn't think she's wrong in any way. Was feeling weak last night but didn't reach out. Just had hard time falling asleep. Knowing my second marriage has failed is what keeps me up at night. Not wondering what I could have done because I felt no matter what I did it wouldn't have mattered. Just wondering why I didn't see that STBX wasn't and isn't the one. Yes, I do realize that to be true. Woke up this morning feeling okay. Tomorrow is a big day for me, looking forward toward taking a step in the right direction. Just met with the pastor. He listened to our current situation and emphatically stressed to end this and move on. Under no circumstances to get back with her. Seems to be a common theme amongst everyone I encounter. He repeated that sentiment 4 times in the 30 minutes we met. Again, this is her pastor who has known her for 25 years. Just met with the lawyer. We are a go. First step is to reach out and get her to agree to a breakdown of debt. Once that's done, the divorce gets pushed through. He said it can be done in less than 2 months. He said she will never find what she's looking for and this cycle will be endless. I did everything possible to make it work. She's just never going to be happy until she faces her own issues. He also said I need to work on my issues prior to being able to move forward in my life. Update. Yesterday was a turning point for me. Woke up today feeling powerful and strong. Starting to question to myself, why am I worried about meeting someone else? Why do I even need someone else right now? I don't need a woman to make myself a man. Got my friend coming over to help me redecorate the house. There is still a lot out that reminds me of our old life. I need to get it out of here. Start I see tomorrow, can't wait. It really helped last time and I am hoping this therapist is a bit pushier and challenges me harder. Today's update. It's really annoying that I'm living in the house and all her crap is still there. I haven't heard anything and it just remains there. I'm giving it to the weekend, then packing it up and shipping it out. I have been contemplating moving out of New York and taking a year off. I was thinking this prior to all of this going down, and now that I'm a free man I see no reason why I shouldn't do this. I don't want to make a decision until my head eyes straight, however. The house is in both names, the mortgage is in just her. I have been paying the bills for the home since I am living there. I was planning on remaining until it's sold. If I move out, I will pay for half of the expenses in an attempt to keep things civil. This may or may not be a smart move, or rent it out. I am giving it to the weekend, then packing crap up. Today's update. As if this wasn't enough, I was told at work that I need to make a role change. Seems like a sign to me that if I am being forced here, maybe it's time to make that move sooner than expected. Sleepless night last night, but not over STBX. No word from that camp. It only bothers me because I want a finalization on the debt so that I can have my lawyer draw up the papers and we get this over with. She is not picking about some of the expenses. Also stated she wasn't able to read the entire email yet, so doesn't have an answer yet on all points, mainly the sale of the home. Mentioned she wants to come to the house to get most of her stuff on Friday. Seems like she's stalling for whatever reason. I responded stating she can get her things tomorrow, but to make sure to take everything. Anything left behind will be tossed. Also said that I will not address any changes to my proposal until she answers the entire email and all points on it. I can tell you, nothing about hearing from her triggered me whatsoever. Update. Last night was rough, was upset. I'm sure it has to do with some finalization coming through. Didn't lose sleep over it though, so that's good. Met with the pastor yesterday, just talking about life. He reiterated no matter what, do not waver. I will not, but I'm sure I will still experience these feelings from time to time. Anyway, work is calm for now, but the first is looming and a change is coming. Hopefully I'll be slightly better equipped to handle another change then. Just got home, clothes are gone. Not quite sure how I feel about it yet. No contact is in effect and will remain so. I just don't get how the day before she's at my job chatting it up with my coworkers and bringing me a gift, to the very next day moving out and cutting off all feelings and contact without anything happening in between. She obviously feels that she can do or already has done better than me. I did everything humanly possible to try and make this work. Everyone I know has told me this, and they've also told me that I was miserable while doing it. I don't understand why I can't see that. Social life is non-existent. Other than going to my friends' homes on the weekends, I don't get out much. It's work and come home and go to sleep. My friends are all older and have families with multiple kids. There are a few guys I can go out with at work, but that just has never been my scene. I also get angry reading it as knowing that I did everything and she did nothing. Ever. I did look weak, I was weak, still am. I need to find my strength and confidence. Joining the gym Thursday. I see continues Thursday as well. She still hasn't answered the remaining portions of my email suggesting how to split up the debts, assets. It's a delay tactic to keep me on the side while she's living it up. Screw that noise. I have an internal deadline of Friday. I see no reason to let her know about this deadline, and I won't. If no word, we'll push the lawyer forward with my suggestions and to have her served. I really wanted to avoid the lawyer interaction and the waste of money, but there just doesn't seem to be any other option. I loved her, I really did. I would have continued to live this way for as long as she allowed it. At this point, I don't ever see myself going back to that life. I don't want to be unhappy, walk on eggshells, and make every decision to make another person happy. Even typing that sounds crazy. Come to think of it now, I don't know if I loved her or just loved being married. Seems the latter. Looking back and down on myself, I realize what a schmuck I was. Why on earth I allowed myself to live my life like that is beyond me. Seems like a different person in my body. 50,000 is the destination. I just took off and am approaching 10,000. There may be some clouds and storms up ahead, but I need to keep rising. I know the way to combat the storms. I see, exercise. Let's get to it. As per my lawyer, I had reached out to try to STBX and settle the debts and one asset, home. He is looking out for me and trying to keep costs down, which I appreciate. This was 2 weeks ago. I sent this breakdown proposal. A week later she responded, but only answered about 50% of the email and said she didn't have time to review the rest yet. She suggested some changes, but I responded saying I wanted her to answer the entire email prior to me commenting on her suggestion. This Friday will be 2 weeks since the original email was sent. She hasn't responded since the last communication. What should be my next steps here? Should I just push forward with my original thoughts and have her served based on that? knowing full well this will cause back and forth with lawyers and thousands in legal fees. Should I send a follow-up email and put a deadline on a response? She has no reason to push this forward, and she's purposely delaying seeing how things play out with OM in an attempt to keep Plan B waiting in the wings. I've decided to take a week off and not think about the divorce. Instead, focus on myself and having fun. Join the gym today. I plan on going at least 4 times between now and next week. That I see today went very well. Excited to work with her. Seeing my friends this weekend. I need to find something to volunteer for. I was going to reach out to my pastor for some thoughts on this. During this marriage, I repeatedly did things to make her happy. She always wanted a savior and even expressed this to me early on. Moved to home so she can be closer to work. My commute is 3 hours round trip. Renovated the home because she wanted it done even though I didn't feel it was necessary. She constantly complained about her job. I told her to take a year off and get herself centered. I would never do this and disagree with the concept. She wanted to explore her artistic side, got her singing lessons. She went to 1 and quit, guitar lessons, bought a guitar, went to 1 lesson and quit. These are things that have happened in the past year. I'm sure there are many more instances I don't recall. All the time all I ever wanted was to feel the love I felt when we first met. Never did get that. Looking down and back, I want to kick the hell out of this poor guy who was just looking for crumbs. And no one should ever settle for crumbs. Heard from STBX. 4:30 a.m. response. Unsure how to respond. Initial reaction is to go blast off, but that may not be the best. Going to post all corresponds. Let's hear some feedback. I have outlined a plan below. If you agree, I will have a lawyer draw up an agreement. Bills outlined in the spreadsheet attached are our expenses. Please review and advise if there needs to be some revisions. Being that I made some payments already for Jan, we should implement these changes as of last week. The payments made have been highlighted. Split up bills based on whose name they were under, worked out to be 60-40 in her favor. Some points I'd like to make in addition to the spreadsheet. House, in regard to the house, I will live here and pay the expenses associated with it for the time being. Unfortunately, I am not in a position to make a move at this time. Whoever is living here should pay the expenses. The long-term plan here would be to sell the house, and if you agree, I will have Paula put it up immediately. If there is something out of the normal expenses that happens to the house, boiler breaks, roof needs repairing, I will pay for this upfront. However, I would expect to be reimbursed once we sell the house. We will split the net proceeds from the house once it's sold evenly. If at any point I leave and you decided to move in, you would assume the expenses. If neither of us are living here, we would split them. If we rent the house, hopefully we can get enough to cover anything. If not, we split the difference. Again, this is only until the house is sold. In regard to the contents of the home, we can discuss once it's sold. Anything you want to take before then, we can discuss on a case-by-case basis. If you need to store stuff here in the meantime, we can keep it in the spare bedroom. Dog, he will stay under my care. I will continue to pay for the dog, including the vet expenses, dog insurance, and dog walking. Once we sell the house, I will pay off the dog loan from the net proceeds of the sale. Until then, I will continue to make the payments. Taxes, we should file as joint this year. If we don't, we are going to owe a lot of money. We can just send everything to Joe and he will take care of it for us. Let me know your thoughts on this. We can state that there was a breakdown in our marriage 6 months ago and file straight away instead of having to being legally separated for a year, then having to file after that. If we can communicate to each other in a civil manner, we can keep lawyers from going back and forth, and it is costing both of us money we don't have. I can have a lawyer draw up a dissolution of assets and file everything for a minimal expense. We can just split the cost of this. I will provide you with receipts for everything. Her response: I'm fine with you staying in the house, but I want oil switched into your name. I'm closing that account effective next week. There's a lot of other things outlined in this email that I still need to think over, so I unfortunately don't have an answer for you for many of them yet. Here are my initial thoughts on the bills. Much of it looks fine. I will not assume the debt for X, nor will I pay the money for you on my account. These debts are in my name but are not mine. They are joint debts and she should have to pay them. I have most of my clothes still at the house and will be coming to get some of them Friday. I would appreciate it if you and the dog were not there. A week later, woke up feeling good just like the last 3 days. A friend of mine sent a picture of STBX with a guy that she posted in FB. Now the guy was clearly playing for the other team, but the fact that she looked happy triggered me. Now the old me would act on this feeling and react poorly. See Monday's actions. Today, acknowledged the feeling, felt it and moved forward. Feeling very good about how I dealt with this. Winning. Another week later. Just got served. Second time from this woman. Lawyer appointment Tuesday. Full steam ahead. Feeling apathetic. A month later. So last night I did end up seeing new GF. This was after a week of near darkness, not me initiating but responding. Small talk. I had mentioned I was going snowboarding for the first time this weekend, and if she was free Friday, that may be her last chance to see me upright. That got it done. Picked her up and we went for sushi, my first time trying that, and left afterwards open. When I was driving there, she called me to see how far out I was. She had mentioned when I got there to call her and she would come out. She did this the first time I picked her up as well. She is clearly embarrassed by her living situation. However, the calling, honking, texting is not something I'm cool with. So, I just went to the door and rang the bell. She answered and immediately apologized for the way her house looked. She's been living at home ever since her D, which was 5 years ago. She lives with her dad. I told her there is no need for that at all. She then invited me in to meet her father. We exchanged pleasantries and 15 minutes later we're on our way. When we got outside, she kissed me hello. Things I noticed, she still has furniture wrapped up from her old home and old marriage. Her D ended poorly. She had mentioned she tried to work it out but it was all one-sided. After seeing the furniture and remembering that conversation, it led me to this conclusion. She is very, very guarded. However, she is slowly becoming more comfortable with me, which is good because this needs to progress very slowly. Off to the restaurant, conversation was easy, funny and refreshing. I told her to order whatever she liked and I would try everything. I have no idea what I was eating, lol. We were there for around 2 hours, had a few laughs. She was showing me pics on her phone and a text string that she thought was funny. Had a nice time. I asked her if she would like to go home or continue the night. She suggested a movie and that she insisted on paying. I agreed. I had paid for everything so far. This was our third date, and off we went. We get into the theater. I lean in and kiss her and say, "It's great to see you again." She smiles and sighs. We get comfortable. My hand and arm in her leg, her hand on top of my hand, other arm on my forearm. The movie starts. I look over to her about 20 minutes later. She is out like a light. During the movie I can tell she is getting more and more comfortable with me. She stroked my face, rubbed my back after the movie ended. All very good signs. We are obviously connecting. I drive her home after the movie, walk her to her door. We kiss goodnight for about 10 minutes. She thanks me for dinner. My response, anytime. She asks me to text her when I get home, about an hour drive. So, I do. My text just got in. I absolutely love spending my time with you. Get some rest. But whatever you are, falling asleep was one of the cutest things I have ever seen. I wanted to take away her insecurities about that. Days later, can't seem to get out of my own head today. Just thinking a lot about the past, the future, what's in store for me. All relationship related. It has to stop. Turns out I did hear back from GF today, no less than 5 minutes after I posted. I don't know what to say, if anything. In my world it's not okay to take 2 days to respond to someone on text message. I don't even want to get into it with her. I just need to stand still for a few and sort through everything in my head. I'm exhausted every day from this crap. I really just want to push forward, forget about everyone and just focus on myself. I am just having a really hard time getting there. I need to kick the job search into high gear and set a short-term goal to shift my focus onto something else. A week later, from the beginning I could tell things were kind of off with GF, was quite distant, trust issues, something. Well, today I found out what it was. We had been out around 6 times and were planning to go skiing this weekend. Well, yesterday she disappeared again and wasn't communicating. Texted me late last night saying she was busy and we would talk today. Turns out she is getting back together with an ex-BF that she must have dated after her D. My guess, she reconnected with him about 3 weeks ago, although she claims it was a phone call yesterday that brought this on. I was born at night, not last night. While I appreciate not being strung along and second-guessing myself, it still hurts to be rejected again. Positive takeaway. GF gave me my confidence back in regard to being able to pick up girls again. Indirectly provided me with the strength to meet with X a few weeks ago and show a strong me. She came into my life for a reason. I believe those were the reasons. Back to the D. Installed video cameras yesterday at the home. After all this time, ladies and gents, I am ready. I am ready to stop hurting. I am ready to start growing. I am ready to stop being a doormat. I have officially hit bottom. Not quite good enough in sports, not quite good enough in school. Always a number 2 guy in business, although successful. I haven't been happy in my job, marriage, life, ever. I overextend myself, try and act like a high roller with all extravagant things while in the background barely hanging on. I am currently wearing a fake Rolex. This is what I'm about. It's all fake. It's all a front. I do have really great friends who support me and see the real me. Those are the only people I can truly be myself around. Everyone else, it's a show. Not loving myself can step back from the way I was raised, in a non-loving environment. Parents never showed love, had no relationship with my bro and sis. Even now it's a very damaged and limited relationship with all of them. I ran to outlets such as gambling to find some sort of control and rush. I have gambled in years, but now it seems I may be turning to drinking during this time, something of which I never did prior, ever. It's dangerous territory for me right now, I recognize this. Been a busy few days just running around living life. Heard from the lawyer today, X wants me to move out and she wants to come back. Obviously, that's not happening, so we'll see where this takes us. This is the last piece holding back the agreement. Once the temp living situation is settled, we can process everything, list the home and get this over with. Having trouble sleeping through the night. Been waking up at 3 a.m. the last 4 days and lying awake for about an hour. Having some weird dreams also. Job is causing a ton of stress again. They basically forced me into a role 2 months ago that has no chance of success, and I'm making about half what I was. I have been looking for a new job but haven't found anything yet. I need something to level off. Something to go on cruise control while I sort the rest of my life out. I have tabled dating as you know, but not for the reasons why I should. It's more of 1. I can't really afford it right now. 2. I am not prepared emotionally to deal with the ups and downs. Positives. X is the furthest from my mind. I may think about her for a total of 10 to 15 minutes every other day now. When I do get weak, I instantly remember who she really is. A month later, papers are signed, should be executed in 60 days. House is being listed next week. This could take some time. There is a ton of construction ongoing on my block. It looks like a war zone. Needless to say, this isn't very appealing to prospective buyers. Until I get a buyer, moving plans are on hold as well as the new job search. Excited to be working with a new IC, ready for the challenge. Weather should be getting nice soon. Time to take the wingman, my 1-year-old bulldog, to some dog parks and let him work his magic. Final update, a year later. There has been no contact between me and X. It's been about a year since any communication. The house is currently in contract and should close by end of Nov. This chapter is finally coming to a close. Since I have gone into contract, I have been having some weird dreams about X, not surprising. Still, with new GF, we are going to be moving into a rental house together. Been dating for a little over a year now, so it's time. She still puffs on the magic dragon but has gotten her crap together and has a good job and some stability. Physical life is still like we first met. Not falling into any old habits, which is good. I do need to develop my own life, interest, and moving back near my friends and family will certainly help that. I can't say I don't think of X from time to time, more so lately with the house now selling. New GF mentioned something that I have heard in the past that needs work on my part. I am somewhat delusional about money. I am making about half what I was a few years ago and have had a hard time adjusting. Otherwise, all is well in my world. I have come out of this stronger and more importantly much more self-aware. My comment, I wished OP would have not gone in the second time to become the ultimate plan B. He had to get slapped the second time to wake up. I think the biggest problem I have here is codependency. OP can't stay single for more than 2 months. That screams weakness to me. But in the end, he did wake up and get rid of his toxic partner for a better life. If you want a better relationship and a better life, this story proves that the first step is fixing yourself, not others. You agree? Comment down and I will grab a quick bite before working on tomorrow's video.